Hello, hello, hello. I have missed you guys. Like I said, I've been working hard behind the scenes. This video, as of right now, I don't know how long it's going to end up being, but my guess is longer than 2 hours. But guess what? I'm going to try my best to find a place to put on my thumbnail that it'll be time stamped. All right. So, because there's a couple of elements going on in this video. So, I decided to do 2 readings for 2 different women, which is what's unique about this one. I've done 2 readings before, but there's usually a before after. This one is 2 different women, and those women's are DORIT and RINNA. I don't know why when I say her name I always want to say RINNA. I don't know. It's just natural for me to say it like that. So those are the 2 women, because you know what? I did not like what I saw. DORIT dismisses Garcelle and RINNA dismisses Erica's charges. Too bad neither of them has the power to do any of that. Okay. So this is a tarot reading. Tarot spills the tea. This session will be digging into their gluteus maximus to find out what crawled up in them that made them act the way they're acting. All right. So these are the days of their lies. And this is still Tarot Spills the Tea. However, this is the Days of Their Lives edition. And it was inspired by Erica. The reason being is because she's spinning so much stuff that there's bound to be a lie in there somewhere. That's how I feel, because it doesn't make any sense. Now, we could blame it all on editing, slicing and dicing and splicing and splitting and adding and merging. You know, you could tell I've been editing, huh? I don't know how they edit, you know, because they're really crafty. Bravo. But I just feel like there's some lies in there. And so what I decided to do was basically make this edition about how their stories and the twists and turns in them affect the people around them, the immediate people around them. And I say that to say this. That's the basis of the edition for the Days of Their Lives. And right now it's going to apply to Erica, and I do have a part 2 that I'm gonna work on afterwards. So anyway, enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. And goodness, I worked hard on it. I did it in chunks, so it might be different music. You might, like right now, you might hear my fan. Next section, you might not hear my fan, but you know, it's in California. I'm hot. So I'll be having the fan on full blast. But just, please extend a little patience. And again, I will timestamp it. I know that this video will be long. So don't ever fear when there are long videos. I'm going to timestamp it. And yeah. So let's continue. Just in case any of you are wondering exactly who I am, let me tell you. I am Indigo Sage, an awakened soul. I do have a spiritual website at unapologeticallysage.com. I do provide personal readings. That information is in the description box below. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All right. All of that is under unapologeticallysage.com. Now let's sage this out. All right. So as you regular sages know already, I always do a summary This time it's going to be a basic summary, because if I decide to go in deep on this or any deeper, it's going to be separate from this. Okay, I'm going to keep the focus where the focus belongs, which is the people who surround this situation, meaning what we're seeing on TV, her TV friends. This is what I'm focusing on. So this is a basic summary, and I got this basic summary from www.insider.com. But first, before we continue, what I need you all to do is bring your beautiful eyes to the bottom of your screen, no matter what screen you're looking at, whether that is your iPhone, your Android, your Cricket, your whatever screen, whether it's an iPad, a laptop, a notebook, whether it's your flat screen or big booty screen TV, whatever screen you're looking at, bring your beautiful eyes to the bottom of it. And look at that red bar at the bottom, and what it says is, this is for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is what? Alleged, and not to be used as facts. So anytime that you see this red bar at the bottom, the sentence inside applies. Law firm. This substantial amount was slated for the victims' families once a settlement was reached in early 2020. But those funds were never distributed to the victims' families, is what is alleged. Edelson PC alleges that Girardi instead kept the money for his own purposes and doled it out to his friends and family, including one Miss Erica Jane. They go on to accuse the couple of using their divorce to hide the funds, which leads them to refer to the divorce as a sham in the complaint. At the heart of this deception is defendant Girardi and his need to fund outrageous lifestyles for himself and his soon-to-be ex-wife, Erica Jane. The complaint continues. To keep up their celebrity status, Tom and Erica must project a public image of obscene, I will say it again, obscene wealth at all times and at whatever the cost. That's the end of what I got from the insider.com. Now I'm going to talk about little notes I took from Bravo on the victims, because at this point, I'm not going to mention her in any video without mentioning the victims, okay, at this point. And like I said, the focus of this series, the days of their lives, is how it affects everyone, the people around them. But Bravo, first of all, I'm curious to try to understand why they waited until mid-season to give us details about the victims, or even mention the victims. They waited mid-season. It's weird to me. So the first thing I'm going to just throw out there is what's obvious. They didn't mention the victims until Sutton brought it up in that what Garcelle called the sister circle meeting. So Sutton brings it up, and then Garcelle waits for the table, okay, to give a good read, to also put the exclamation mark on the victims, okay? And I'll bring that up a little bit later, but so Sutton and Garcelle tag team don't bring up them victims. And Crystal too. Crystal too, she knows some victims. All right? You guys will see later. I will bring all of that up later. So, as far as Bravo is concerned, what they bring up is that the husband allegedly embezzled money from widows and orphans from the plane crash. This plane crash, this is my information that I dug up and got. The plane crashed 13 minutes after taking off from an international Indonesian airport. The plane crashed and took the lives of 189 people. All right. Now, there were in other cases, women who took a prescription that had a side effect of cancer, and some of the women got cancer. Those are some other victims. And this is all alleged. And there are burn victims who have mountains of medical bills, ongoing grafting surgeries is what's needed, and they need the money for their medical bills. Those are the victims. Okay, there are real victims. Those are the victims. So, let's not forget the true people who are suffering in all of this. Now that I've mentioned that, let's go ahead and continue to sage this out. Okay, my sages, what we have here, what you are looking at, is what Garcelle referred to as the sister circle. All right, sister circle meeting, I think she said. So that's what I'm going to call it, the sister circle meeting. All right, to discuss Erica Jane's EJ Global LLC. This meeting was called by Sutton, and she specifically requested that Erica not be there. Now, I'm giving just a basic, just little summary for anyone who did not watch the episode or is not familiar. I'm going to give you a few little bullet points that will help you kind of be caught up. All right. So at this meeting, basically, they all agree with Sutton. Sutton expressed that, what Erica is saying does not add up, and that it was an LLC, which means that she's responsible for it. It's hers. And that with an LLC, Sutton said something about the devil himself can put money in there, and you know it. It's your LLC. It's in your name. You know about money being put in there. And the astronomical amount happens to be $20 million. Okay? So Sutton stands by the fact that she feels like there's no way that Erica could not have known anything about $20 million being deposited into her LLC account. All right. So she then says that she does not want to be around her. She doesn't want to be associated with her because she's on boards. Okay. So Sutton is at the right of your screen, and then there's the RINNA looking like a devil. Lord forgive me, but look at her. And so Lisa RINNA just basically disagrees and kind of dismisses everything Sutton's saying, except she does add that his son-in-law just quit. Anyway, I'm not going to make this long, but so basically RINNA disagrees with everything. You can look at her face and see, okay, how she feel. Now, then we have the lovely Garcelle, and what was her input? Her input was basically she was agreeing with her. She felt like she was making points, and she, all the ladies agree with Sutton, to be honest. And then I believe this point where she was nodding her head, she was saying, this is different, you guys. It's not like it's a white collar crime. This crime actually has victims, real people, victims, so that's why Sutton was saying, I don't want to be around her or associated with her. Actually, she said both. All right. So I believe this nodding of her head, Garcelle's head, is when she talked about the victims. All right. To which I'll talk about that coming up. Next, beside Miss Garcelle, we have the DORIT. Look how she was sitting on that couch. Anyway, I'm sure you guys who watched the episode knows I'm just joking. But you know what? I'd believe it. She always usually be all fashionista up, and she always poses weird. I am sure that is in the name of modeling, but anyway, it's weird and bizarre to me. So DORIT made the, what I believe now will be the infamous remark of everything that they've known about Erica up until now, and what she's told them recently has been diametrically opposite. So that's basically saying extremely opposite, of what we knew or thought we knew. So she talked about how she was concerned as well. She had the same concerns, and she called her husband and boy George, and named Kyle right below. And too bad I didn't get her pants. I think I got her pants in the next picture, because Kyle for once was dressed nice. Garcelle sometimes still needs some help. But anyway, oh my gosh, Kyle. What did Kyle contribute? Kyle said that she spoke to her good friend's attorney husband about it, and she has concerns as well. And she added that they deserve to know the truth. They deserve it. And Crystal right there, she and I couldn't get a good picture. I'm like, that's not how her face actually looked like the whole time. I mean, it did look like that for a couple of seconds, okay, obviously, but I mean, and her and Garcelle, Crystal and Garcelle was just they was eating, which it was stuff there for them to eat. But anyway, so I was just thinking, how concerned are you stuffing your face? But anyway, so Crystal had added in her 2 cents about how she agreed, and one of her, it hits close to home for her, because the Indonesian plane crash, she knew people who it affected, and she immediately called them, and so she's close to the people that it affected, the of the 189 that passed from the Indonesian plane crash. All right. So here, let me just say this. Look at Kyle. Finally, she is looking cute, looking decent. I love that yellow on her. All right. Whew. She can give us one about every 3 months. She get it right. Okay. So I think that's the length of the season, ain't it? So once a season. Okay. So here what we have is the real photo to the left and on the bottom of how DORIT looked, and Sutton up here to the top right, she's responding, she's pointing to herself, and she's responding to RINNA, because RINNA said, why don't you care about Erica? Why are you just talking about yourself and how you feel, and everything's about you, and you're protecting yourself, and you're not talking about Erica? Honey, son got them good old southern fingers together. Okay, she pointed all 10 of her fingers to herself, and she said these words. She said, because I care about myself more. Like, what don't you understand? Okay, in her southern drawl she got going on, she said, because I care about myself more. I said, I heard that. Look her straight in her face and say that. Okay, what don't you understand? Like, you not getting it? So then Garcelle goes on to ask, okay, so if Erica were to walk in the door right now, this door right here, right now, and then Sutton finished it up and said, I'd say the same thing. I'd tell her the same. So that's admirable. I can get behind somebody like that. At first, I wasn't feeling it for Sutton. I wanted Sutton to suddenly disappear. But this season, I'm liking her so far. I mean, in the very beginning, I was still feeling like, girl, you need to disappear, because that pink lint brush she was rolling on her face, I was like, girl, this is too much for you, and you got in over your head. We'll understand if you quit mid-season. But now she's bringing it, so I love it. Let me introduce to you, okay, the dream team. All right, this is my dream team. This is the people's dream team. Okay, so we've got Sutton heading the dream team, because she is the one who had the confidence and assertiveness to go ahead and call the meeting. Okay, she is the type that can say it to your face. She will say it to your face. She might pull out that pink lint brush right afterwards, might shed a tear, but she definitely don't want to be kicked, but she will say it to your face. And she had her facts. She said she read it 3 times while the other ladies were talking about they didn't read it, girl. And then she pulled out her notes. She said, I've got some notes. Honey, them notes reminded me of Monique's binder at the reunion. Honey, pulled it out. The notes. I loved it. And that put her, she's at the top of the leaderboard of the dream team. Next up, we have Garcelle. Let me tell you why she is the number 2. Not because of that big old thigh, but she is next up in the leaderboard because she smartly waited until she got in Erica's face to say what she wanted to say, which was that her sister is in the same situation as, or very similar, very close, as the victims from Tom Girardi. And so, she, something went wrong with her surgery or whatever, and she was supposed to get money. She hasn't seen a dime. It's been years. And her sister keeps telling Garcelle, it's okay. He just told me I need to wait a little longer. I'm going to get it. I just need to wait a little longer. I'm going to get it. And so that is her connection with the victims of this situation, this unfortunate situation. And she looks Erica right in the face. She was seated directly across the table from her. She looked her right in the face, and I think she pointed a finger too. And she said, so if the things they are saying that Tom did, if he actually did them, then fuck Tom, honey. And she rolled that, she had a top bun, honey. She rolled that bun, the eyes, that bun, that head, honey. Erica didn't say anything. I mean, what can you say? She didn't have anything to say. And honey, I was like, I wish you would. I wish you would. I say something. Say something. So then Garcelle goes on at the table to say, the victims, she said, you'll be all right. She was talking to Erica. She said, you'll be fine. The victims are the ones who needs the help and needs the attention, And Kathy immediately agreed. Kathy was actually there. Kathy wasn't there at the meeting, the Sister Circle meeting, or if she was, she disappeared into the back because, again, she said she don't know her. But she was there at the dinner table. They had a holiday meal, and Kathy immediately agreed with Garcelle that the victims are the ones that's important. And then we have Crystal coming in last, but she made the team. All right, she's a good alternate. But no, she's on the team. She's on the team. She speaks up when she needs to. Although sometimes I would like for her to be louder and her timing needs to be a little bit better. But she also spoke up confidently about her connection and everything as well. Then what's her name? The Own It girl, lady, RINNA. She kept on wanting everybody to own it, say what you said, say what you said, say what you said. While at the same time, DORIT was flopping like a fish out of water. And Garcelle told DORIT, that's not what you said the other night. That's not what you said the other night. Well, that's not what you said the other night. And at first, DORIT was ignoring her, and they were sitting next to each other. And she was acting like she didn't hear her talking. And then at one moment, she looked at her and then turned back and didn't say nothing. That's dismissive. And then finally, when she did speak, she said, give me a minute. And so then DORIT, dropped the bomb and said, well, Erica, we all met without you to talk about you. And it was Sutton's idea, and she flip-flopped. She acted like, she understood and as if she didn't have a concern. So the reading will address all of that. Alrighty, so this is the Dream Team. They're going to come up later, and I just want you to see them in all their glory. So I'm cheering for them. They are the confident truth tellers of all of this. They have not flip-flopped And that is why they are my dream team. All right, let's go. Okay, so let's break this down with a very quick, pointed background. DORIT versus Garcelle. So this season started off with DORIT visiting Garcelle's house and receiving a fishy compliment as Garcelle confesses she named one of her new fish DORIT because the fish had style, and I believe she said that she was fabulous, the fish. It was a silver fish with black spots. Last year, the two ladies got along well despite DORIT riding the fence like it was a mechanical bull when it came to Denise versus Brandy's allegations. Fast forwarding to the last episode aired, and she was extremely dismissive of Garcelle's presence. When Garcelle reminded DORIT about telling Erica what she said the other night in their sister circle, DORIT blatantly ignores Garcelle. Next week, which if I am on time, it'll be the day you're listening to this, which my microphone just arrived too, so cut me a little bit of slack. Next week today we see DORIT accuse Garcelle of being a bully. This prompts Garcelle to deliver a good old-fashioned face-to-face fuck you, and fuck you. Alright, that's not how she said it, but let's get into these cards, okay? Because all of this may have been fake. So let's get into the cards. Okay, so for you guys' information, the question that I asked specifically regarding DORIT versus Garcelle was, why did DORIT decide to call Garcelle a bully? What made DORIT decide to turn her attitude on Garcelle? What made her become dismissive of Garcelle's presence? Okay, so here are the answers, and my regular sages know how we do it, but for the newcomers, welcome. There are 5 assigned positions for this reading, which I use this reading all the time, and it is about the decisions that these people make, and it breaks it all the way down. Now, there is a bonus card, the 6th card. I say bonus because it is simply the energy influence. Now, for all tarot readers, I can comfortably say that it's important to know the energy influence. However, I am one of the few that will show it and talk about it. Now, mind you, the reason in general why people don't, the tarot readers don't bring that up, and all of this is just, in my opinion, of course, but because some people tend to deny their energy sometimes, and it's not pretty, and so it's not even necessary. It's not necessary to bring it up for the reading, so that's why it's avoided a lot of times. Me though, I like to be transparent and talk about it because that is the only way that, not the only way, let me take it back. That helps a person further their path. Whether it's good or bad, they need to know it, and it needs to be talked about so that it can be dealt with, either praised or, helped. Whichever one, okay? So, So the sixth card will be the energy influence. And again, welcome to all of the new subscribers. But I have a feeling that you guys may have been listening, some of you, and just decided to subscribe. And that warms my freaking heart. Thank you so much. All right. Sorry about that, but it had to be said. So the past position. Of course, this one is important. It's, you know what? They're all important. They're all important. And especially depending on what card lands there and in what position. Now, the past, I always tell you guys it's important. And the reason why is because it's a major influence on the present. And the present is going to be, the main answer to the question. But as you know, they all play a role. So the past, though, is the biggest influence. And it was reversed, the Hangman. And this one says, a compromise she made in the past didn't benefit her. The foundation of her current situation stems from a time when she didn't ride 100 with the mean girls. She sees an opportunity to jump on the bandwagon when the mean girls target Garcelle. It also means new career move not working, stalling for time, that's going to come up again later, and not willing to sacrifice. When being confronted with a problem, it is very common for your first inclination to be to blame everyone that is involved except yourself. You should not be blind to your own shortcomings. This message was so heavy. All of this can be broken down. Okay, the mean girls have commonly been referred to as RINNA, Erica, Kyle. That's what I've known to be the mean girls, the core of the mean girls. And I felt like DORIT was a part of it, but sometimes they treat her like the redheaded stepchild. So then I was like, oh no, you're not in it. Okay, I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know what you're doing. I never know what the heck DORIT is doing, and that'll come up too, because she don't know what she's doing either. Okay, all right, and that'll come up. See, this is. I could talk all this mess because since I've pre-shuffled and did the reading. All right, so but anyway, so last season, DORIT was riding the fence. And so that's what made me see and take her out of the mean girl club or whatever. But I see that she wants to be in it. And I feel like that is the compromise that she made in the past that didn't benefit her. Trying to be friends with Garcelle or riding the fence, because she didn't take her coat. She didn't grab her boots and her coat and leave the mean girl house. You know what I'm saying? She kind of left her toothbrush there, left some stuff there at the house to give her a reason to come back. But she was checking out new listings, new houses, okay? Which was Garcelle. And, riding the fence and stuff. And it was the Garcelle and Denise thing, So, anyway, that is what I believe didn't work out. And the foundation of the way she's treating Garcelle stems from that. And yeah, that makes sense. She sees this as an opportunity to jump on the bandwagon. And I'm trying to see, when was that fire lit exactly? I'm trying to remember. Because was it that day when Erica cried and I think it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. When Erica cried and was screaming and, about Tom calling her. The angels, they're telling me that it did have to, that what's her name? Because, see, I didn't know if I believed the people's story, which was Garcelle wasn't there to hear it, and producers told her to say it. I'm like, y'all don't know. But I believe 99% 99.9%, I think that is the bones of how it occurred. And that's when the official, I think, mean girl target Garcelle began. And new career move not working. Stalling for time, not willing to sacrifice. Okay. I'm going to break this down and then I'm going to go on to the next one because you guys know I can be long-winded. But I'm going to have timestamps, okay? New career move not working. Now, this could be two things. It could be her trying to fit in or be... You know what? DORIT, she seems like the person who doesn't actually fit in, but they have expensive things, and so they tell themselves that that's okay, and you know, like, everybody's just jealous of me because I got this, you know. And then somebody shouts out to her, of what? Your ugly leather pants. Honey, while gathering pictures and stuff, you guys, I found 2 bona fide pictures of DORIT in some ugly leather pants. They look just like hers. So I'm like, girl, did you just borrow those? But then hers was like the kind with that you go fishing in, where it has all those pockets where I don't go fishing, so I just saw it on TV. But all them cargo pants. She had some thick leather cargo pants was one of them, and the other one, I don't know. I was blinded by the ugliness. But back to this. She never really quite fit in. She kind of just rode the fence, and she done took on a fake accent, y'all. So obviously there's some psychological things going on there. So, you know, the new career move, this was her trying to ride the fence. That didn't work out. Stalling for time, I feel like she is trying her best to stay on the show, because she feels like any day now you know what she sees in her head? They're showing me what she sees in her head. Cynthia, she compares herself to Cynthia on Roa. Y'all know for years and years and years, and if you don't know now, you know, you about to know. Last 5 years we've been saying Cynthia can't go. She is boring. She ain't got no storyline. She ain't got nothing going on. You know, she just, you know, want to look fabulous when it's time to look fabulous, and that's it. She compares herself to Cynthia, and I think it's rumored, you know, allegedly and all of that Cynthia won't be returning. I don't know, because I stopped watching Roa officially last season, but the season before that I was in and out. But anyway, but one thing that hasn't changed is that everybody's still saying that Cynthia is boring and she needs to go. I don't know if she's going or not. Okay, I thought about doing a reading on it. I don't know if she's going or not, but this is the person that she is afraid of becoming. Not Cynthia to her core, but just constantly year after year, because I said we was talking about it for 5 years. I think she only been on for 6. I don't know, maybe 7. But it was like after her first season. No, let me. Okay, maybe after her first 2 seasons, every year they said she needed to go. So that's her fear. Not willing to sacrifice. She knows right from wrong, and she's playing the game too hard. I think she should ease up a little bit, because on one side we seen and heard her in the sister circle completely getting air high fives from Sutton because she agreed with Sutton, and then she totally changes up when she gets in front of Erica. She's playing both sides too hard. And when Giselle pretty much pushes her off the high diving, when you just gotta push somebody out, she pretty much does that. And honey, DORIT was like, no, I got something else up my sleeve. This person is gonna soften my blow, my landing. Sutton called for a meeting. Anyway, she wasn't getting ready to sacrifice herself. Okay, so let's move on. One more thing I must say before we move on. I'm not for sure if I said what the second meaning was for the new career move not working. It is her being a bridal gown designer. I almost forgot about that shit. Okay. So that one may or may not be working out. Bravo really hasn't touched it. Has anyone else? In the present position, we have, again, a reversed card, and that is Judgment. All right. Judgment in reverse. Self-doubt and failure to see her mistakes. This card in reverse says, you hear the sound, but you are ignoring the call. There are pending thoughts about what she knows she has to do, but she procrastinates. Job advancement is involved. So, procrastination. This showed up in the previous card, but they said she was stalling. This is procrastination. Knows what she has to do. Job advancement involved. All right, let's break it down. So sometimes judgment in reverse is good. In this case, it's not. She does have self-doubt, and I think this is the first time we see failure to see her mistakes, but it's going to come up in another card a little later as well. So that helps me a little bit because she doesn't see. That tells us she doesn't really see her mistakes or anything that she's doing that's wrong. She doesn't see it for real. In this sense, okay, because her mind is a little tricky, you know. She's one of the types, let me say alleged, but she's one of the types that could secretly be like a serial killer or whatever, and will look you straight in your face and be like, what? Just walk over these botties. The bottle of water is over here. You know, like, if one day she snaps, you know, her personality, allegedly, but she could carry more than one personality, okay? I mean, again, I'm going to refer to her accent that she carries on while admitting that she's not from there, and but her husband is. Okay. So I'm not even going to do that. There's a joke that I heard a long time ago at work about somebody claiming a race because their husband was that race, and they asked, how did you become that race? By I think they said by injection. Anyway, so hopefully if there's any part of my audience that doesn't need to hear it, hopefully you don't get it. And for the ones that thinks it's hilarious, yeah, I busted out laughing when I heard that. Okay. Now, so I said that to say I don't understand how just because your husband is from a certain place, now all of a sudden you adopt that accent. And she does it, in my opinion, well. That's like one of the few things that she does well. I also think she's a good mother, just from what I see on TV. But she should stop calling everybody babe and love bug. That bugs me very much. Because she went into calling all the friends that too. Like, if it's just at home, okay. But then you call everybody, just random people you see in the grocery store. If she's ever in the grocery store. Hey, love bug, hand me that juice. Like, no, it's too much. Too much love bug and babe. And that accent, no, too much. All right. So failure to see her mistakes. So she really, when they be having one-on-ones and stuff, sometimes when it doesn't seem like she gets it, like what she did wrong, she really doesn't. And you hear the sound, but you're ignoring the call. That's just another way of saying procrastination. And there are pending thoughts about what she knows she has to do. So this also ties into last season when she was riding the fence. She kind of had her, like I said, her toes dipped in both pools or hats in both homes or whatever. I like to say left that toothbrush behind. And, you know, something else small and not non-important, but just leaving stuff behind. And then she came in this season, you know, still not I'm not going to say riding the fence, but, or it was just editing, made us think that her and DORIT were really cool. And I think Garcelle thought that too. That is, until that fateful day. But anyway, when Garcelle said, you know, look at who's in here and who's out there. So she heard the sound, meaning last, I was going to say semester. Now, what does that say about them? Not semester, but last season, she heard she saw what the Mean Girls were doing and she was supposed to join them, but she didn't. So that's what that is referring to. There are pending thoughts in her mind on what she has to do. So again, she started out, she was at Garcelle's house, and as we know, she said in one of the dinners, in one of the confessions at one of the dinners when they were talking about the race issue, seeing color or not seeing color, DORIT had said, Garcelle knows that black people have been to my house. She's been to my house. Girl, okay, girl. And this also is a perfect example of failure to see her mistakes. She started naming off all of the workers, the people that work for her in her home, how the children just love them and they're all brown, different shades of brown. Girl. Okay, girl. Now I'm going to tell you something that's peculiar to me with Miss DORIT. This is why I don't know how many personalities she got up in that head. Now, at one of those dinners in La Quinta, the one right before the racial discussion dinner, the one where they were at Erica's house before her explosion at Garcelle. So just back that much. Not Erica's house, but Erica's little La Quinta suite or whatever, where they, you know, had to, oh my gosh, like servants get their food out of a bag. Okay, so anyway, remember they played that little game, whatever that game was, and then Kyle told Crystal across the table, what will Confucius say? Okay, so I watched the Bravo after show where the ladies are asked other questions from the producers, and they sit with another person and they just, you know, usually they riff off of each other, but like Atlanta would and other franchises. But Beverly Hills, I don't think they know comedy. Or maybe they do. We just don't have the same taste, because things they think is funny is not to me, and things I think is funny is not to them. So, you know, but this is for entertainment purposes, and so are they. But anyway, so when Kyle had said to Crystal, what would Confucius say? And in the after show, well, even, you know, we saw a little bit on the show, but in the after show, DORIT was so appalled and afraid and just wondering what is going on. That's so disrespectful. Oh my gosh. So she recognized what she thought to be disrespect from Kyle to another person's race. But when she does it, she didn't see it. She didn't see anything wrong with saying all of her helpers, everyone throughout the years, they've been different shades of brown and my children just love them. Insert a laugh right here. Oh my gosh. Because I'm tired, y'all, and I'm trying to get this out, so I ain't going to be able to do it. But she didn't see nothing wrong with that. All right. So we are at job advancement is involved. All right. Now the procrastination is simply because she has anxiety and paranoia, and that'll come up later. She's just never. She feels awkward. She feels like she doesn't fit in, and when a person feels that way, and especially if they don't admit it or talk about it, it's hard to help them. And so her anxiety and paranoia comes from that, which creates the procrastination to move forward in whatever decision it is that you have to make that you feel like is a major one. So job advancement is involved, like I said, and they're showing me again that she sees herself as Cynthia as it relates to people saying you gotta go, you need to go. And you know what, if you think about it, I think we do say that every year. All right, moving right along. Now, the best out of that decision is the Six of Pentacles. And in this position, in this reading, this card can go either way. Someone will be asking for money, or someone will be sending money. As for work specifically, this card says you are a valued employee. Oh, how special. And see, this validates more of what I said previously about how I believe that she feels awkward and actually, I have a surprise. I'm going to make an extra video. I'm going to do like an astrology report on them. And now that I'm thinking about, I haven't done it yet for DORIT, but I did see with her, where the stars land and the planets and all of that. And this makes sense. It makes sense. The best of this would be for her to come out feeling valued as an employee, it says. Okay. Not so dispensable. Spirit is saying dispensable. She feels dispensable. She feels like the weakest link. Okay. And she really regrets not, I guess, doing this last year. She was trying to get her footing. And it's funny because they're showing me, because I told you guys before that, they give me images, a lot of images. And so sometimes it's hard to describe what I'm seeing. But, and especially when they go fast. Lord help me when they go fast. Okay. But, it's like she's on a mountain, like a rocky edge, and like some pieces fall and you're trying to get your footing. That's how she feels. And she feels like it's like even rockier or unstable since she didn't completely go with them 100%, the Mean Girls, last, season. So the best of her switching up now, the switch up, is for her to feel like they value her. Now the reason why I said this can go either way with the someone will be asking for money or sending money is simply because I know y'all probably heard already that PK, there's two tax liens. One is PK's only solo, and the other one is allegedly is both of them together. Failure to pay taxes is $1.5 million of back pay for the years of 2015, 2016, and there's 3 years. So I think it's 2015, 16, and 17. Anyway, and then her being chased around the pool that time. Some of you may or may not have heard about that. They were on vacation. Oh gosh, I just saw it. Anyway, tropical area. And she was chased around the pool by a woman who claims that they had a business deal with her husband. Oh, no. Business deal with the swimwear. And he never got paid or something. And so they're suing her. And they happen to see each other. And that woman was asking when was, her husband going to get his money. So I can see why she may feel like someone will be asking for money. I think someone is asking for money. And but I don't see that as her envisioning that to be the best. The way that probably translates as the best is has to do everything with someone will be sending her money. She is holding on to her spot. They need money in order to pay who they owe. Okay? Plain and simple. And that's just how it works nowadays. We don't barter with cows and vegetables or whatever. You know, we don't barter like that. It's just money. Okay? People want money. I can't pay PG&E with, you know, anything except money. I was going to say I'm a chef. I can't, you know, give them a meal and say, here, I'm good for a month, right? You have a 3-course meal. No, it doesn't work like that. So, money. Someone, I believe, is asking for money. And the best out of that would be for her to get money and feel valued at the same time. Isn't that lovely? Well, look what we have here, you guys. All right, in the worst position. Oh, what was that laugh? In the worst position, excuse me, allergies. We have the Magician. Let me read the summary. Now, this is related to what DORIT envisioned to be the worst as it pertains to her decision to call Garcelle a bully. The elements represent tools you can use for manifestation. All 4 elements appear in the Magician imagery. The Magician can literally take lemons and turn them into diamonds. This is a highly sought out card in the upright position because anything you envision will be in the palm of your hand. Most importantly, if you have any enemies, when this card appears, it announces your enemy will become your footstool by using the transformative energy surge that is currently available. Now, that just first glance doesn't make any sense without, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Why would an upright Magician card be your worst fear as it relates to your decision to call someone a bully? Okay, it was obvious to me. As soon as I saw it, and in the worst position, baby, I be telling y'all all the time. See, I'm talking too fast. I'm getting all caught up in my words. Because I tell y'all, I refer to this all the time. In this worst position, what I don't like to see is someone feeling like that someone else's success is the worst thing that can happen to them. This is another version of it. Usually it's more clear, but this was crystal clear to me. As soon as I saw the Magician in the worst, I knew that was Garcelle, baby. That's Garcelle, baby. Baby. Look, what she is envisioning is that this, you know, her attacking Garcelle will backfire on her. And I ain't gonna go all deep into the race thing and everything because people already talked about that their first season. Garcelle even said, I feel like they're not being real with me because they're afraid that, and I don't remember if it was Garcelle, but somebody mentioned Black Twitter will come after them. Anyway, that was just a hot mess. But I did wonder if there was any truth to it. And I wasn't doing this series yet. Otherwise, it'd been all kind of videos on that. So this is a different version of someone else's success is their worst. That's how she feels. So she feels like it may backfire. And, you know, because Garcelle is pretty well liked across the board. And she fears probably Spirit is saying Black Twitter. I guess that's what we're gonna stick with. You know what? I have a Twitter account under Unapologetically Sage. I'm not on there much, but I don't know. Do Black Twitter is Black Twitter? Let me know in the comments. Examples maybe of Black Twitter acting up, because I don't know. I just don't understand that fear. But there's fear of her calling her a bully, like, you know, that kind of backfiring and just being a footstool, okay, for Garcelle to advance in. Because Garcelle has all the making of the leader of the group, per se. However, that what makes her so good is that she doesn't want it. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? But those characteristics and that strength and that confidence that she has, okay, is recognized by those women. And women who don't have confidence, they feel some type of way being in her presence with all of that confidence. And so DORIT recognizes that Garcelle has, you know, power within herself, within her being, because she's confident in who she is. And that's something I wish we all had. I wish that every single human being walking this earth, you know, had loved themselves and had that confidence, okay? Because it's in there. You just got to pull it out sometimes. But anyway, back to Garcelle and back to DORIT. So that's her worst. Moving right along. What's to come? What's to come is Four of Pentacles upright. In the original deck, Rider-Waite, this is the miser. He's holding on to those coins so tight. Okay. In this deck, right here, right now, it means paranoia, avoiding collaboration, and imposter syndrome. Paranoia, I believe, is her, first of all, being paranoid about her decision, her going ahead and flip to the flopping on Garcelle. And so she's paranoid about that, which relates to the last card that I just said, which was the worst position, Garcelle becoming the magician. That's her paranoia. Avoiding collaboration. Now, I am going to say again that, you know, that's what's to come. And that could be her past haunting her, of when she did not collaborate and listen when the Mean Girls told her to do it last season. And it very well could be something that they are asking her to do now. So anyway, there's lots of possibilities with avoiding collaboration as it relates to this situation. Ooh, and I just rhymed. All right, Imposter Syndrome. Now check this out. This one really caught my attention. This one stood out. This one almost was like blinking at me. Like, so I had to dig into it just a little bit more. So check this out, you guys. So what's to come as far as the imposter syndrome? Here's the breakdown of that. Imposter syndrome, also known as fraud syndrome, is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud, despite external evidence of their competence. Those experiencing this phenomenon remain convinced that they are frauds and do not deserve all they have achieved. Individuals with impostorism incorrectly attribute their success to luck or interpret it as a result of deceiving others into thinking they are more intelligent than they perceive themselves to be. That was a mouthful. All right, so imposter syndrome. To me, okay, first of all, let me say I'm not a doctor. All right, and everything that I'm saying is alleged, as you know, I've said over and over. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so for entertainment purposes only, let me say I feel like, as a non-doctor, my non-doctor opinion is that's exactly what DORIT is suffering from: imposter syndrome, fraud syndrome. I can see there's something looming over her head, like a Charlie Brown cloud. Not Charlie Brown is not the character that had the cloud, but in that that old cartoon or whatever, there was one kid that had that like storm cloud over their head, and everywhere they went they had it. Or was it the stinky kid had a cloud of spunk? Anyway, I don't remember which was what. I might be mixing Care Bears up with the Charlie Brown, but somebody in a cartoon somewhere had a cloud over their head and it would rain. It was a gray cloud. That is what I'm seeing. I shouldn't have never went to the cartoons. Sorry about that. Anyway, and that could be for a lot of different things, but whatever they are, it indirectly has to do with Garcelle in the way of how DORIT's mind is processing her goals and what she needs to do, you know, to reach her goals. That's how it involves Garcelle, because she regrets not jumping on that bandwagon of everybody ostracized them. She thought it would benefit her to be cool with them, and for whatever reason this season she doesn't feel like that helped. But you know, we don't know what they're doing in the off season, because I feel like something happened to where something clicked in her head where she was like, they're treating me different. Okay, anyway, but something happened to where they're treating her different, and she feels like it's because she was cool with Garcelle. And when she saw them, you know, 1-2 punch Garcelle for, you know, saying what she said, and Erica, you know, overreacting, she saw that as her opportunity. But to save herself from being recognized as a fraud. And it's funny because it just fits so much. Like, she always has to have labels from head to toe. I don't know if she gets them for free. Even if they do, because, you know, I understand that she gets paid to model people's clothes or whatever. Like every actress, she's also a model. And I don't know if she's an actress, like, for sure, but I think I saw it somewhere. And I know she be getting her act on. But to owe $1.5 million and allegedly, and you had a Beverly Beach swimwear partner and he didn't get jack from it. So does that mean that it didn't make money? I mean, I went in on a deal before and I didn't get a return, and sure enough, I was upset. I was livid. And the person explained that there were no profits. But anyway, you know me, I had to see receipts and stuff. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, well, it is here, by the way of returns. So them not paying the partner that they had with, and I'm saying they because for some reason I don't believe that Beverly Beach was completely 100% DORIT's. I feel like PK was in there somewhere. I mean, besides changing the name, I know he changed the name. But anyway, so why didn't the person get paid? Okay, why did the person get paid? I mean, when you're chased around a pool because of this, I don't know. And I did see something that said that she addressed it. I don't want to hear what she has to say. I don't. I'm just, she feels like she's a fraud. She has imposter syndrome, aka fraud syndrome. Now, here's what struck me as being weird. Despite external evidence of their competence. So, what's the evidence of their competence? Just the fact that what they show us on TV and Instagram? For me, that doesn't exude competence. All that could be rented and fake and borrowed and all kind of stuff. All that stuff can be gone in 24 hours. Especially when you owe 1.5 million in back taxes. Come on now. So I don't think in her mind that she feels like, well, they're saying, Spirit is saying this is how her mind is working. All right, I ain't gonna argue with that. I'm not in her mind, but I was thinking, what does she feel like is evidence of competence? Just what she's showing on TV? And just because a person drives a nice car or lives in a nice house does not mean that they are competent. Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. So continuing. All right, and just a little bit more about the fraud syndrome as it relates directly to career and work. It's not at all uncommon to feel unworthy of a career or academic opportunity you just earned. You want the job, certainly. It could even be your dream job. All the same, you might worry you won't measure up to expectations or believe your abilities won't match those of your coworkers or peers. These feelings may fade as you settle in and get familiar with the role. Sometimes, though, they can get worse, particularly if you fail to receive support, validation, and encouragement from your supervisors or peers. Boom! Remember, earlier, for the best, what I highlighted on that one was for her to feel like she's valued by them. Because right now, you guys, she's feeling replaceable. And I honestly don't know how that feels to, and here's the thing, maybe because I'm always knowing that everyone's replaceable. Even the owner of a company sometimes is, retired out of his position or bought out. Everyone is replaceable, and I live in that reality. So I don't carry that around as a fear. So I don't understand her fear of this. But this is heavy on her, and it's driving her to do things against her better judgment. Because going after Garcelle, I think we'll see real soon that she shouldn't have. And here's the thing that really bothers me. I need her to have a damn backbone. Because if she don't have nothing against Garcelle, then don't come for Garcelle. Period. And tell them heifers, hey, she ain't done nothing to me. But she's just so afraid of it turning on her. They just said Lucy Lou. That dog, I don't remember that dog's name, but it was like Lucy Lou Cherry Pie, something like that. It was like I think it was pie in there, Lucy Pie, something. It was something like Lucy Lou Juicy Pie, something. Anyway, you can drop down in the comments and let me know, because I remember it was like 4 words and it was like silly and ridiculous to me. Okay. But she felt like she was almost a goner. I should have did a reading on that. Okay, but anyway, moving right along, at least we get to see inside of her mind and how it's working and all the factors that went into her deciding I'm going to do it. So first of all, I was going to say I'm happy about seeing the hesitation that, she didn't want to do it. and she was procrastinating and hesitating and all this kind of stuff. It took a lot for her to jump out and go ahead and come for Garcelle. But the unfortunate thing about it, it's not like she didn't want to do it because she knew that wasn't the right thing to do. She didn't want to do it because excuse me, afraid of the backlash. That's how I'm gonna put it. Backlash, okay? Until I see examples of Black Twitter, I don't feel like saying anyone is afraid of Black Twitter. I mean, it's just, well, you know what? I don't have her status, her, celebrity status. So I don't know how that feels to worry about how your celebrity status will be affected. Because obviously we see people allegedly embezzle money to keep up appearances, to keep up their celebrity status, and all of it is weird to me. But that's just because I come from an awoken space. I'm woke. They're not. So, that's why it's weird to me. And probably by a lot of people, whether you're woke or not. Like, it just doesn't, I don't understand the addiction to that lifestyle. That, they're so addicted to that lifestyle that they do things to harm others and things that they can go to jail for the rest of their life. I just don't get it. And I'm not implying that DORIT is doing that, but she carries a lot of anxiety that she won't be in this circle or this lifestyle, whatever this is to her. What did she do before she got on this show? Go back to that. I don't know. Moving right along. Allow me to say this right now. Forgive me, Lord, for laughing. Yes, I laughed a little bit when I saw this. We are at the energy influence. And this is the card that I talked about in the beginning that, I always discuss at the end. This is the bonus card. Is the energy that influenced all of the prior elements of the decision. And this energy influence was in reverse. And it is the Queen of Pentacles. Money, 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 money. That's what I should have had playing in the background. Money. That's what she's worried about. That's all she's thinking about. Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles is the coin. That is the money. Okay? That's the money, honey. And worrying about money makes her worry about her position on the show. She has to make money. And you know what? They're telling me this is her own. Like, she wants her own, like, separate from him. You know what? I guess I know it's going to sound silly with what I was getting ready to, how I was getting ready to say what I was getting ready to say, but I'm going to say it. I guess she really was shooken by the trouble that they had in her account being frozen. She couldn't get to her money because of something he did before he ever even met her. But because they were married, they froze her stuff too. So that shook her. She wants to be independent and have her own. She has such worry about money. I wonder what's going on with them, with the money situation. Well, I mean, I guess if what has been alleged that they owe $1.5 million in back taxes and owes a partner, I guess that's enough to be worried about money, right? All right, let's continue. All right, so check this out. I decided that since I've mentioned her bridal wear, bridal designs, bridal collaboration, I'm curious to see what the gowns look like. I forgot all about it until I started looking her up. I remember in the very beginning of the season, she announced that she was doing that, and they flashed, I think, one photo. And I was like, oh, there's her storyline. Apparently not. So at the end of this video, at the end of the entire video, we're going to look at something Bravo has decided not to explore as of yet, and that is her bridal gown sneak peek. And perhaps if Bravo featured the gowns, maybe she wouldn't have to pick at Garcelle for a storyline. Okay. Yeah. Also, Sagies, if you could please hit that like button or subscribe if you're on the late train to subscribing, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified when I post a new video. All right, so here we are. We find ourselves finally at RINNA. All right, so this is the Dream Team versus RINNA and her lender loyalty program. Allegedly. All right, in this reading, I find out some interesting things, and you will too. So let's sage this out. In the past position, we have the reversed 10 of Cups. Her basic sense of stability and security may feel shaken. She was feeling isolated in the work environment due to pouring gasoline on the previous season. Okay, she did that. That's what she did. She experienced hostility directed at her from some crew members as well. Okay, so I had to throw that in because right when I was channeling this message, I felt that. She was very uncomfortable. She was made to feel, well, now let me take that back. I don't know if she was made to feel uncomfortable, but there were crew members besides the obvious, Garcelle and stuff, and Denise Richards fans and everything. Besides that, there were crew members who treated her differently. Like, it was like tension in the air, that kind of thing was going on. And that is why in the past the 10 of Cups is showing up reverse, which is that's not the only thing good about this is that it's in the past, which means that a person has an opportunity to change it, which is exactly the motivating factor in her decision. Actually, I should have stated that. I know I stated it in the very, very beginning, but let me restate it. Lisa Rinna's question is, and I know you guys just saw the Dream Team versus RINNA. The specific question I asked was, why is she defending Erica Girardi so hard? Why is she going so hard in the paint? And so that was my focus question. All right. So the reason for the lender loyalty program joke that I made is because this is all alleged. All right. So again, just to remind you of this red bar at the bottom, it says for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not to be used as facts. Every time you see that bar at the bottom, the sentence inside applies. All right, so the lender loyalty program that I made up as a joke is alleged, and it comes from some attorney who, alleged that Erica Jane had loaned Miss Rinna $5 million, or invested $5 million. Some said invested, some said loaned. Nothing has come out to concretely prove that to be the case. Nothing except for her behavior. Okay, nothing except for Rinna's behavior, her steadfast loyalty, blind loyalty, mind you. Didn't she talk? Anyway, I ain't gonna go back there. All right, so the past. My regular sages know, and for the new people, let me tell you, the past is a huge influence on the next card, which is the present. The present represents what you were feeling in the moment that the decision was made. So this past card, whatever this says, it was a big influence for the decision. All right. So again, the past is the 10 cups in reverse, and her sense of stability and security is shaken, and she even got crew looking at her sideways. Okay, she didn't like that. She was not going for that. So let's see what the next card is. Here we are in the present position. And you guys, you know, if you if you've watched my readings and you remember when the Seven of Swords comes in the reading upright, that is hardly ever if ever a good sign. This is the card that represents thievery first and foremost, okay? Because the original imagery is that of a soldier who is gleefully stealing the swords from presumably the enemy's camp. And in the original imagery, he's turning back as she is with that cute outfit on and some heels. Okay, she's turning back, but in the original imagery, he's smirking. Like, ha ha ha, I got you. I got one over on you. Okay, I'm right in your face and I'm stealing, you know. Because it also suggests that he had on the opposite side's army outfit. So it, you know what, tarot cards go really, really deep and really, really deep on imagery. But my point is, this is, has always been, will always be, when presented upright, the card of thievery and deception. And anyway, that's just what that is. So she's working strategically through lies and deceit. She felt she would be set up to be the underdog this season due to her ridiculous level of hounding she released upon Denise. The reactions she received from fans felt like a backdraft. She also became aware of Garcelle being praised for the role she played, which made her feel upset, vengeful, and determined. A certain degree of working tactically is her only hope. So this is her energy. This is how she feels. Now, here's what was interesting, that she's working through lies and deceit. I did not, excuse me, I did not ask for clarifiers because I didn't want it to be so long. But I'm sure you've already seen the time, and I'm pretty positive. I'm not done yet, but I'm pretty positive I'm like pushing at 2 hours or a little over. So with that being said, there will be timestamps. Hopefully I have said that already, because I'm recording these in chunks. All right. So yeah. So presently she's represented by the Seven of Swords. Upright. Nothing good about that. And she didn't want to be the underdog. So I'm gonna tell you, so far I don't see anything about any reason being anything other, well, anything about money. How about that? That's how I'm gonna put it right now. Yeah, let's continue. All right, now we are at the position for what she felt like is best when she made the decision to go hard in the paint for Erica. And the card that represents what she felt was going to be the best result from that decision is the reversed Eight of Cups. Now, I was laughing a little bit when, you know, this came out, because I already knew. Look at this person. It's a woman with a little knapsack, backpack, guiding stick, and they sent off on their way. That's the best. So let's get into this. Let's sage it out. The best in her mind would be sending Garcelle packing, never to return. Simply because Rinna will go after any and everyone who she feels is a threat to her position on the show. After all, LVP said Rinna had auditioned many times for the show, and she was finally chosen. Congratulations, she said. Okay. Now, Rinna plans on living until she is old and decrepit, while still being a cast member, so we can see the one time she had a storyline that was all her own. All right. Yeah. And I was wondering, had she ever, since she'd been on there? I don't know. You guys can tell me down in the comments, but I don't recall one. But at the same time, some seasons I tune in, some seasons I don't. You know, it's like, if they can hold me, can they hold me? Can they hold me? So therefore, I'm not a fair person to, you know, I wouldn't have a fair answer since I haven't watched every single show since she's been on it. But from what I have watched, which I'd say at least, if not more, 50% of the time since she's been on, and I can't remember like an authentic storyline that is her own. It's either her children or she's effing with somebody. Like, she's always effing with somebody. Always. Or it's her children. So I don't know. I don't see how these people last so long without storylines. But she's the pot stirrer. Oh boy. So yeah, the best of the situation. And it's probably because the best of the situation for her, this decision to stand by Erica through thick and thin, blindly support. And is it only me that feels that that's odd, that she gave that whole speech about Harry's speech that he gave to her, and then she presented his speech to the girls, which the bottom line was she could not blindly support Denise on dipping in the ladies' pond. That ain't even nobody's business. So that doesn't even. When she said she couldn't blindly support Denise, I'm like, for sex? Who the hell is asking anybody to blindly support me in my sexual ventures? What the hell? I didn't understand the big decision on whether or not to support her blindly. On what? Who's between her sheets? Did she need support? Were you there? Did you hold her hand? What are you talking about, man? I don't know. They're delusional, or as Andrew Caldwell can say, delusional. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Their way that they're thinking and processing the information. But on the other hand, she's blindly supporting Erica, who could possibly face allegedly embezzlement charges, and you're blindly supporting that. But you had to be meticulous and cautious and careful when it came to a woman and a woman bumping. Okay, you know what? And you know, I'm not trying to offend anybody when I said the word bumping. Don't come after me. I'm a part of the community, so you gotta bark up someone else's tree. But because I use those words to keep it clean. All right. So anyway, yeah, the best would be for her to sing Garcelle packing, and that was purposefully, like it said, tactfully done, or tactically done, because she knows that Garcelle was upset at her lack of support for Denise. And I'm almost positive that she knew that that conversation was coming because, first of all, Garcelle already announced it, period. I think on Twitter or something. I was going to say something electronically, but I mean social media wise. She had already announced that she couldn't wait to get back, with or without Denise, because she was going to hold their feet to the fire and ask them the questions and this, that, and the other. So she had already been pumping it up and saying that. So we all knew she was going to do that. Now, here's what you may not have known, and maybe you did, because I found it out. I knew it. Garcelle had allegedly a stipulation on her contract that said if she came back, she wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with Lisa Rinna and Kyle. Well, I can't remember her last name. Kyle. I guess it's just Kyle, like Cher. Okay. Or, yeah, okay. I can't remember her last name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, part of her contract, the stipulation was she must have a conversation with them one-on-one to ask what, she wants to ask. And the conversation must be aired. Boom and booyah. Ya chow. Gotcha. I said, now, I heard that. I heard the hell out of that. I heard that. So, with that being said, Garcelle kind of, unbeknownst to her, ended up being a thorn in the side of Lisa Rinna. And this is absolutely crazy to me because they claim to have, originally they were talking about they have been friends for over 20 years. Now, I don't even know if they claim each other as a friend anymore. Because on a couple of episodes back, Kyle had to announce Garcelle's not following Rinna and Garcelle's not following me. On, I was going to say on Twitter. What is it? On Instagram. These ladies, sometimes I get flashbacks of high school. But let's continue. So, next up we have the worst. So this is what she imagines to be the worst of this decision to blindly support Erica. And all of this is alleged, and also, let me get through this. So the worst in reverse, okay, so this is Four of Cups in reverse. And let me go ahead and say this. Normally, this is a good sign, Four of Cups in reverse. So let me read the summary that I wrote. In reverse, Four of Cups says that the querent is no longer in a stagnant rut, and they've managed to restore their image. The reason this card landed here in the worst is because she wants this action complete as soon as possible, and any delay would be the worst. Her desire for instant gratification is what drove this card to the worst position. She just wants instant gratification. There's nothing wrong with this card. I mean, there's nothing bad about this card. Being in reverse, that is, okay? In reverse means you're lively now. You're up and at 'em. Shouts out to Up and At 'em. I wasn't trying to do that. That happened by accident, but I do watch him from time to time. Anyway, although Falon sat up there and lied to him. I wonder how he feel about that. I wonder if he's gonna cover that, because he was defending her real hard. Anyway, back to Rinna. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this card being as it is in reverse. It's a good sign, but it's in the worst because she wants it to hurry up, and so the delay is what she feels like is the worst, because she wants that instant gratification. My goodness, you can't have everything you want all the time. All right, let's move right along. Here we are at what's to come. So we have the Nine of Cups in the upright for what's to come. Her hard work will pay off if she stays consistent. This is definitely how she sees it. She'll be sitting pretty like the imagery portrays. The woman is surrounded by cups of love. However, RINNA's cups are filled to the rim with attention. So I know I've mentioned, I think a while back, that there's a book about love language and everyone has a certain type of love language. Well, first of all, there are no coins or pentacles in here, and I'll touch on that in just a second. But there were cups, and cups in general represents love and loving relationships. It could be family, friendship, romantic, but like love is there. She feels loved when her need for attention is satisfied. If she wants attention from you and you're not giving it to her, she feels like something's wrong, and you don't love her. So her love equates attention. That's her love language. I haven't read that book. I read I think a synopsis or whatever of it, so I'm no expert in it, but I understand the concept and the idea of what the person's talking about. And so with that being said, I don't know if attention seeking is one of the 5 love languages, but what I'm saying is that attention equates love to Lisa Rinna. And so what she sees as what's to come is she's doing all this hard work, and it's going to pay off with her, keeping her spot and showing a different side of her. So that, and you know what's a shame? She's doing it not even to be nice. Like, it's not genuine. It is an argumentative point that she can now put in her arsenal. I guarantee you, even after this season wraps, if anyone brings up, if and when anyone brings up to Lisa Rinna, why did you treat Denise so bad? She's gonna circle that mess back around and say, I blah, 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 blah. But did you see what I did with Erica? I was there for Erica. I'm just not good friends with Denise. After 20 years and hear her, she might be licking twat. I'm not good friends with her anymore. But I am really good friends with Erica. Knock it off, Rinna. No Rinna. Alright, so let's go on to the bonus card, which is the energy influence. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Her energy influence is upright, 3 of Wands. This was the most simplest energy influence I've had yet. Very clear. It was very clear to me. Expanding her career options. And this instantly reminded me of, what's her name? Evelyn Lozada. How after doing something like what's perceived to be horrible behavior on television, all of a sudden they are concerned with how they come across on television, and as a result it makes their behavior change drastically. And I guess that's to be expected, but at the same time it's not authentic. If you're acting in a way that's unnatural, only so you can look good on TV so that it doesn't mess up any other, and then I was wondering, and I was going to say any other, career opportunities, but I was wondering who in the world, but see, I'm not a housewife. I was wondering who in the world is watching Housewives tapes in order to see who to hire for something. I mean, I don't know. I'd imagine if you're going, I don't know. I guess it depends. I don't know. I know Housewives was getting hired on Broadway left and right. But I don't know. I was just like, who would you would put that on your resume? I was a housewife. I don't know. You know what? My mind thinks so differently than, because I'm thinking, what skill would you need? Because even if they invite you to Broadway, you don't, a housewife skill on a housewife show doesn't, unless you be acting, I guess. I don't know. But heavy worry on career opportunities. And then I'm gonna tell you what Spirit, because I was thinking, how many, what is her career? What does she do? And I know she's an actress, but I don't know if she's still active. And then they reminded me of she did a diaper thing or something. She endorsed some diapers when she was 30 or something. I don't know. Allegedly. And that's when everybody joked and was saying that Rinna will do anything for money. Then they started making fun of Spirit reminded me of her adult diapers that she endorsed. I saw an image of it. But what I'm getting ready to say now, Spirit didn't say this. This is just something I heard from somebody else talking mess about Rinna. But they started saying that she was the queen of QVC and stuff with her dusters. And I forgot all about that. So anyway, apparently she's, doing a lot, so anyway, expanding her career options. So in her mind, she needed to, this is, like I said, she's doing this to be able to balance the Denise thing, and it's strictly for her to be able to even it out if anyone brings up how she treated Denise, because she knows she was wrong, which is why she's going so hard in the paint right now in reverse, doing something different, and it doesn't make any sense. The only sense I could see of it was the alleged leaked information that Erica had invested $5 million in Rinna Beauty. However, now that the reading is complete, I didn't see it anywhere. So I'm going to say I don't believe that she did invest it. Rinna, this reading for why, I specifically asked why, what, I said asked. I've asked. Okay. I'm trying to pronounce my words correctly. But anyway, I specifically asked. Ooh, I put a T on it. Okay, anyway. The question was, why was she supporting her blindly and so hard, and like it was just, she just dedicated to supporting her. And the answer, was a profound, she's trying to balance this out. The last year when she poured gasoline all over the season by coming after, because I'm sure the LGBT community probably came after her too, because what is the big deal? Why are you trying to shame her for whatever it is she doing in between her sheets? It was just ridiculous. So I didn't see first of all, I didn't see any money motives in here. I didn't even see Erica in here. I saw Garcelle. And it's like this serves two purposes for Rinna. One, she balances out the she makes it equal. She wasn't there for a friend, and now she's there for a friend. So it appears, although we know what the truth is. Okay. And then she knew that would get under Garcelle's skin. And it's not for Rinna, it's getting under Garcelle's skin and possibly running her away is a reward for her. This is not for Rinna. It's not about whether or not Erica's innocent or guilty for Rinna, allegedly. She knew that Garcelle was very much bothered by her mistreatment of Denise. She knew that Garcelle, well, she knew Garcelle wanted a conversation with her and that it must be aired. And I'm glad they chose, because they apparently had two. I'm glad they chose the latter one, where Garcelle goes and says, "You think we cool? We ain't cool. We ain't good. I don't trust you." You know, and then Rinna talking about, "Well, you shouldn't. I don't know if you can trust." Well, I'm sorry, that's a Southern accent. "I don't know if you can trust me. I can't say that." I'm like, what kind of crazy delusional person are you? You've been knowing these people. Well, I guess knowing someone and being friends with someone is different. Because Garcelle and Denise thought all of them had been friends for over 20 years. And let Rinna tell it now. She's sounding like, Kathy. I don't know her. I don't know them. I'm not good friends with Denise. Girl, you were before the show? What the hell are you talking about? She'll do anything for $1 to make you holler. Anyway, so I just, I didn't see Erica in it at all. I saw her wanting to get under Garcelle's skin. I saw her, she's aiming for Garcelle because she feels like Garcelle is a threat to her. And I don't even understand feeling like another cast member is a threat. I don't understand that, because all of you are cast members holding a fake big diamond, or either it's airbrushed in. All y'all got something in your hand. How can one cast member come for your job when both of you have the same job? That is what confuses me. That confuses me. But I understand if you already were on your way out the door and was scheduled to be fired or whatever. You got warnings or something, writings on the wall, and then they hire in a new fresh face and you hear that they're there to take your place. I can imagine that's something different, because supposedly from the grapevine, allegedly, that's the Mia-Wendy dispute. But anyway, on the RHOP, Mia, Wendy was supposed to allegedly be fired, and Mia was hired to take Wendy's place, and that's why Wendy don't like Mia. All right. Anyway, besides all that, she already didn't like her, okay? Before we saw her on the screen flip-flopping like a fish out of water, talking about Mia, before we saw that, Wendy already didn't like her, okay? Tick-tock, tick-tock. So, yeah, I didn't see any Lone, any Erica. This is all about Rinna trying to make herself look good and trying to show that she is a good person. I am a good guy. I am a good, person. I am a good friend. And watch me be a good friend. That's what that is. And get under get under Garcelle's skin. Oh boy, but if the dream team stays together, they'll be all right. Let's continue. We have reached the conclusion of the Rinna read, and here is where I am offering some sage words. There are two ways of meeting difficulties. You alter the difficulties, or alter yourself meeting them. I feel like both DORIT and RINNA are altering themselves, which in this situation I don't feel like it's good, because when you stray away from your authentic self, you're going to cause unnecessary harm to yourself and possibly others when you are inauthentic, when you have ill intentions, when you wish to target someone in order for that to be your storyline or to get heat off of you. when the classic Mean Girl stuff. And DORIT, she's regretting not doing this sooner, like last season. She feels like that didn't even pay off. But I don't even... Anyway. You know what? Are we surprised? I kept asking myself, am I surprised? And... you know what? I'm a little surprised about DORIT simply because I had never made up my mind this entire time about DORIT, whether she was a good guy or a bad guy. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I'm gonna say this. Seeing the preview of her saying Garcelle was a bully, and they're basing that on her asking questions, I decided I'm not here for DORIT. And then, did you guys notice that in the last, either the last episode or episode before last, in RINNA's, when she's dressed in that hot pink, whatever, she says, yeah, Garcelle, she just pokes at you, she attacks you, and you don't even realize that you're attacked, and you're like, ow, that hurt. She said that mess in one of her head talking interviews. And I'm like, and then Bravo, of course, their editing department shows us, I think 2 times where she was asking straightforward questions to RINNA, or making comments straightforward, as a matter of factly speaking, to RINNA. It was 2, possibly 3 times. And RINNA said she felt attacked by Garcelle. And then follow up with, we're about to see DORIT call her a bully. You can't tell me that they didn't plan that. Plus, they were talking negative about Garcelle before the season even started. They said that Garcelle was the one that doesn't keep it real or authentic. Excuse me? And first of all, I'm fair and unbiased, so I'm not supporting Garcelle simply because she's black and I'm black. That's not what this is. It's just that these people are upset with Garcelle for asking normal questions. And the thing about it is, that's weird to me, because you're on a reality show, so you should, show your reality. Someone should be able to ask you questions about your damn reality if you're on a reality show. Come on now. But it's awfully weird if you want to make a rule that says don't ask us nothing. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to talk about? Anyway, that's crazy. But I want to thank you guys for your support. And one more time, I want to ask you, if you haven't done it already, why not? Go ahead and click like and subscribe and share and ring my bell so that you get notifications whenever a new video drops. Also, I'm going to put an asterisk right here and say stay tuned for the bridal sneak peek dresses that Kimsley, what's her name, DORIT, allegedly designed all on her own. All right, I think I kind of like them. So you can either click off now or stay tuned for the mini fashion show I'm getting ready to have. Okay, all right, and I'll have timestamps. And if you do click off right here, enjoy the rest of your week. Okay. Oh, and be safe. Be safe. Wash those hands, please. All right, now goodbye if you're clicking off, and for the rest of you, hopefully I have the strength, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And in like 2 seconds, you're going to begin to see some dresses